You are muted, Sohan.
You're right, as always. Hi, hello from Dallas. As you guys know, as time difference, it's very early morning here, so good morning from the other side of the world. Um, Without further ado, thank you for the introduction. You pretty much mentioned everything I've been doing for the last like 16 years or so. We've been long enough in the industry, especially in the AEC industry, architecture, engineering, and construction industry. As you all know, that the emergence of AI right now in the industry, it's showing a lot of effects, and it's very effective now. It's been in the industry. Not just this year or 2 years or 3 years. It's been in the industry since many years in different formats. With that, we're gonna step into trying to reflect a little bit of what I personally learned and how AI and technology being using and affecting the EEC industry. So it's going to be very short. We're going to show you how the history of AEC industry and AI, the future of AEC industry and AI, how to deal with AI. Because I know that it's kind of like a dilemma for a lot of people, like how are we going to deal with AI? Things AI cannot do. Next slide, please. So, as you all know, it's been in the industry since many years. A lot of people think that, oh, AI starts with ChatGPT or with copilots. No, it started way before that. It may not be that smart or independent when it was working, but it was in the industry. If you guys are available, if you guys are aware of Autodesk products, you will know that there is a lot of built-in features in these products, and they are working, and they are based on machine learning capabilities, like what we have in the BIM, building information modeling tools. As we wrote there on the presentation, used to enhance design and accuracy and efficiency, clash detections. I mean, clash detection itself, it's really a smart thing that the machine does, just like any other programming thing. So basically, when you go back to the programming, this is where you're touching the gray area. Did AI exist before that time, before the time of chat GPTs and stuff? They're optimizing construction schedules and improving cost estimations. I mean, we can talk all day long about these details and go in between the lines to see the effects of AI and how machines being learning things and doing things on its own, and we were just using it as a user. And then we have the predictive analytics, AI-driven predictive analytics, utilizing to forecast project risks, maintenance needs, and potential delays. This helps in proactive decision makings and resource allocations. I mean, there is all kinds of like softwares and applications that's being out and being like tracing projects and understanding projects. And sometimes I don't want to say thinking on behalf of the human factor of it, but you basically program it. When you program it, then it's learning. It's the same concept that AI right now. It's just we gave AI kind of like, thanks to the IT team, they gave AI more ability to connect the dots together and speak up more and to be more a little bit like freely in that. Automated design tools, area applications include automated design tools for generative design, generating designs. I mean, if anybody's familiar about Revit, with Revit, there is a tool in Revit called generative design. It's there since 2021. This is basically, a lot of people says that in the AEC industry, this could be considered the first application of AI that it's AI like clearly came into the AEC industry, because this tool basically, if you're going to do an interior design or something like that, and you're going to do all these lighting calculations for your space, for the management and the arrangements of your furnitures, window views, and all these things, If you are not familiar with it, shortly, you give it a floor plan, and the Revit program, when you use this generative design, it's going to go and think about all these possibilities and apply all these codes that we have in the industry. And it's something really amazing. It gives you like dozens, hundreds of options. It's going to calculate hundreds of options. It's going to give you kind of like 5 or 6 options as a final option. Like I said, it's been in the industry. Construction robotic, AI-powered robots used. I mean, we don't need to speak a lot about this. I mean, all these factories that you see around, starting from like car factories, like material factories, even phone factories. I mean, they use all these robotics, and all these robotics being trained and being taught what to do. This is the gray area where AI is started. Energy management systems. This is again, I mean, like the paragraph said, that energy has always been a concern for humanity. It's been always a concern for the environmental. So energy, we are in a constant battle to control energy, to limit energy, to use as much as we need only, not to use more, and to lower our consumption on it, lower the cost of it, both costs, the financial cost and the environmental cost of it. And I don't know I'm going to just give you an example. Yes, we mentioned HVAC systems and stuff there. I'm going to go out of the slides and stuff. If you have any kind of like background in oil industry and stuff, they are using a lot of automated and machine learning tools to control the carbon emissions in these industries, and they are continuously doing research and developing new tools, new machine learning tools that can control that. So it's almost in everywhere. This is shortly the history of AI. And the reason we wanted to show that, it's because there is a lot of concerns with AI. Okay, the people think that it just started with ChatGPT. We don't know how to deal with it. This kind of like an alien thing. But it's always good to remind ourselves that it did not start with ChatGPT. It did not start just with the last like a year or two or so. It's been there. It's been developing. It's not a product of one day, one night. It's a product of many years of ourselves, of human researching in technologies, robots, and programming as well. Next slide, please. The future of AI. I mean, after this kind of like leap that happened in the last years or two, AI became more capable, more powerful, and now we are seeing more abilities of it, and it's progressing really fast. I've been reading in an article that it's not just progressing very fast. It's right now itself, it's helping us in the process of its progress. Like, it got to a level that it's so smart that a lot of programmers are benefiting from it to develop it even furthermore. So we don't know how fast it's going to continue growing. We don't know what is going to be the next thing we're going to see tomorrow in AI industry. But in the AEC industry, we've been very affected by it. I mean, I know a lot of architects, a lot of engineers, a lot of designers, even a lot of planners, like city planners and stuff. They started seeing all these avenues that AI can provide, and it's unbelievable, and it's really a massive effect of it. I mean, starting with emails, like responding to your emails, or some people use it to their emails and rephrasing their emails and stuff, up till there are platforms right now, like we use it in our industry. We deal with like platforms that you give a two-dimensional floor plan to an AI platform, and this AI can generate an entire model, river model, interior scenes, physical renderings, and a lot of things that we take weeks and months in only 24 hours. But let's see what are the other areas that's going to be really affected by AI-driven design and planning. definitely in architecture, in plannings, there is a constant research in that. There is a belief among architects, among planners, among engineers that AI can improve some of the difficulties that we have, especially when it comes to the balancing between the environment and our progress and population increase in general around the world. Enhanced construction processes. Um, for that part, I mean, there is all kind of like applications and platforms that really change the process of construction in general. I mean, a lot of people knows about Procones and all these programs that they have some sort of like machine learning within built in, but there are other stuff that's going on, like what we talked about before, and we're going to get there in another point as well. Right now, the industry is going really serious into the direction of digital twins, machine learning programs, IoTs, that they're going to be connected and they all going to work together to fasten the progress of construction and the process of construction. I mean, that day I was telling Daniel, we were talking about that. If you want to know how AI is going to affect the future of construction, just remember how Autodesk and AutoCAD change the future and the course of engineering drawings, right? We used to have dozens of people doing like producing one set of documents, construction documents, and they would take months and months and months. And all this right now can be done with only one person in 2 weeks. So that tells you the faster that you get these drawings together, the faster your project starts. And the more control you have on the projects during the project time, the faster the project is going. And the IoT, the AI platforms, the IoTs, the digital twins, they're really affecting this progress. From year to year, we're seeing a lot of improvements and a lot of technologies, new technologies are coming in. Predictive maintenance, again, that IoT and digital twin, it's kind of like if you're going to start right, and that's what we are saying right now in the BIM and AEC industry. If you're going to start right, that part is going to be easy and it's going to follow, but it's very effective. If you're going to do everything, and if you're going to involve your AI tools and you're going to involve your IoTs and digital twin correct at the very beginning, then down the road, you can watch these facilities as they go on almost like on a hourly basis. It's not like, okay, we have a building, like imagine an airport, that you building an airport, multi-million-dollar, or maybe $1 billion, may cost $1 billion cost. If you're going to build an airport and you're just going to put it out there and huge building, you cannot see all these corners. To control such a facility and see what's going to happen every day and every month, you need to hire an army of maintenance people and watch every corner every day. You don't have to do that anymore. You have the IoT, you have the digital twins that can, to a very good level, watch almost every corner in these buildings, and you can maintain it healthy, efficient, especially in the energy side of it, and more important, the occupancy of it, like how much of this building is being used or can be used. Smart facility management, same thing, it goes to the same area as well. I mean, I don't want to dig down on all these points. Increased efficiencies and accuracy. I mean, it's just like a calculator, right? I mean, we use calculators to multiply numbers, and especially when you're going to have the fractures with it. The human factor of it, I mean, we can be accurate in our calculations, we can be accurate in our predictions, we can be accurate in our supervisions, but we can be that much only to a certain level. I mean, we have a lot of factors that we have, the AI doesn't have, or the computer-based or machine learned tools, they don't have, which is fatigue and tiredness. You get to a point that you cannot, I mean, imagine yourself like working on an Excel sheet and you have multiple numbers, just sitting on that sheet for like an hour, and you're gonna start mixing up the numbers. You're gonna forget, like, okay, what numbers was there, or where we are, what exactly I was working on it, and stuff like that. So increased efficiency, I always connect the efficiency word, the difference between the efficiency that we get from tools and machines with human. It's the factor of distraction, the factor of focus, and the factor of tiredness. These are the elements that, like I said, if you're gonna try to control an airport, you're gonna need an army, and they still gonna miss things in some corners. But with using these tools, you're gonna have kind of like a very good grip on your facilities that costed you millions of dollars, and it's making hundreds of thousands of dollars every day for whatever reason and purposes these buildings are. We're talking about airports, we're talking about warehouses, we're talking about all kind of like factories and stuff. This is shortly the future that we are expecting to go in. It's a bright future, on the contrary of some people may think that it's a dark future. A lot of people talks about that, but I believe after all, it depends on how we're going to use it. Next slide, please. So how to deal with it? I mean, a lot of people out there, they may have this, like we said, like it's a half-half. I believe it might be half-half. A lot of people are very excited for it, and a lot of people are like kind of like might be scared or afraid of AI. But how you deal with AI? Think of it as a personal assistance. I mean, I always think about that, and I tell my friends, don't be afraid of it. Think of it as a personal assistance. I mean, in everyday routine works that you do, you can have an assistant. You can have an assistant in language, assistant in financial, assistant as an engineer, assistant as an architect. Imagine yourself just a person, and AI doesn't exist. We don't have the luxury of hiring all these experts and to be our assistants in real life. But with AI, this is a possibility. Think of it as an assistant. Don't think of it as leading you. Just think that, okay, you have your own firm, your own organization, and AI can be all these multiple assistants that you need. Use it only when it's needed. There's this thing like any other technology. At the beginning, people start getting like addicting to it, but I think that's where things get out of control. We get so addicted to it, we get so depending on it, that we forget our normal and basic duties. Use it only when like you come to we all as engineers, we all as architects, as any industry that we work in, we turn back to the computer. Just think about it, just a computer. We turn back to the computer when we need the computer to do the thing, right? We do our basic due diligence, then we come back to the computer. Just treat it the same way. AI is not a thinker. I mean, a lot of people may argue, like, no, it's going to be thinking. Yeah, but when you say thinker here, it's the originality means a lot, and especially in the architecture industry, originality really, it's a big factor. You have a client, they're going to give you multi-million dollar project. First of all, as an ethic, they deserve your attention and some of your time to do some originalities. Don't go just give it to AI and let AI give you like some design options and stuff, because we know very well how AI doing it. There is no originality in it. It's gonna go search the web, it's gonna go search its database, and it's gonna like what we say, lick and stick a lot of options together, and it's gonna show you something. It may still, some people argue that it's original because that's what we do as human as well, but that's not true, because there are a lot of factors that you use it when you deal with your clients that AI would not consider these factors. At least you saw the face of your clients and you talked to them. You learned something about their personalities and stuff, and the project that they're going to have, and the location that the project is going to go. So please keep putting your emotion in things and apply originalities to it. This is the key of success. AI still can assist you down the road when you're going to go to finalizing the designs and stuff, but remember that word, originality. Especially for architects, originality is very important. For the engineering industry, it's kind of like a little bit different because you can argue about originality. What is originality? It's all equations and calculations. I agree on that part. But for things that requires designs, elements of design is going to be really involved in it. Please remember that part. Next slide, please. Things AI cannot do, or even if can do, should not do. But I highly doubt, I highly argue that there are things that AI cannot do, a machine cannot do, period. One of them is learning for you. AI cannot learn for you on behalf of you. If in your industry there's a certain level of knowledge that you need to have it, and you need to maintain it, and you need to improve it. If you're not gonna if you're not gonna read on your own, if you're not gonna explore on your own, if you're not gonna improve yourself on your own, AI is not gonna do that. Client relationship, this is the most important part. AI is not going to be with your client. You're going to be with your client face to face, and your client is going to give you another job after the job that you're doing right now, after they're going to know you and they're going to feel comfortable for you. Just think it this way. That relationship, that human relationship, AI can never do it for you. Chain of thoughts, if you're going to get a project, AI would not know about that project. Pure emotion is, as we talked about it, the originalities and the chain of thoughts and how you want to do this project. Put your emotions in. AI cannot do that part of it. And the last thing is going to be innovation. This might be kind of like connected to computer-based, but not. It cannot give you like a lot of things. Innovative, and we're talking about innovative ideas and thinking here. Like, for example, might be city planners maybe, or urban designers may think about that, may see this a lot more. AI cannot feel the people. AI cannot feel the need of the people and what they need. There are a lot of things. It needs your own observation, your own data, and own feelings to be invested in it, so you can innovate solutions for the people that you're going to serve in your projects. With that, I believe that's the last thing I had on my part, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Sohan. Thank you for all the input here. So my name is Daniel. I work with Sohan here at Michael Baker International. My job is to help the engineers and the architects implement this new technology. My background is mostly in visual communication. My undergraduate degree is in digital media and visual communication, and then I ended up pursuing technology a little bit more. So you might be wondering, as I understand, most of you are educators and are in the field of media and visual communication. How does all of this architecture, engineering, how does AI play a part in the current industry? So I don't want to take too much more time, but let me show you some of the things that my team or other people within the industry using software, using VR, virtual reality, and things like that. How are we able to bring this technology into the industry, and maybe even how you can think of implementing this in your classroom? So, how are we integrating technology? It's really exciting for me to be able to use the technology available into what we would say as a visual communication or showing something to our client. I'm going to show you a video here. It's from one of the software manufacturers that we use here a lot, called Bentley Software. You might be aware of it. Just how the design and how 3D animation, how all of those play a part in this. So let me show you this video. And one of the things before I start the video that Sohan mentioned was digital twin. Basically, a digital twin, if you think of it, a twin is something that looks like the other. So a digital twin is even before building a bridge or building a building, you have the exact same model on 3D with the accurate dimensions and things like that. So even before you start building anything, how do you show that to the client? So let me show you a video that kind of illustrates how all of that work. All right, so as you saw in that video, there's a lot of design involved in producing any of those visualizations that you saw. I don't know if you noticed it, but there were some visualizations where it showed if there is a flood, how is it going to affect the city and things like that. So using VR, and in fact, we have a VR in our office. We use that a lot. So we would design a building on the software side, and then you can actually do a walkthrough. You can go inside the building, see the different structures and things like that. So the first part that I wanted to mention was how did we integrate it? And then the second part is just new ideas. How do we generate new ideas? As Sohan mentioned, originality is so important, and that is what I think a lot of people in the field of visual communication media and also outside of it, how are we generating new ideas, or how are we showing these new ideas to our clients? How are we able to win a project? So let me just show you an example of this. So this is something that is designed by our visualization team. So if you look at this this image here, it is a design of a bridge. And as a client, you might think, oh, that is a good looking bridge, but that anyone can do that. How do we go a step farther? Is you start to be more creative. How do you show this same bridge in different views or different angles? How can we use different styles of visualization to show that? So that gives us an edge over anyone else who does it. And then you can even go a step farther by showing, okay, this is what is inside that bridge. This is what is inside that column. This is what is in the roads. And then if you look at the bottom corner, there's a person there. So that kind of gives you a scale of how big those beams are, the concrete and things like that. So being able to generate new ideas can be very simple but effective when it comes to winning projects or being able to convey your message well. The next part is perspective. This, I just wanted to bring it out. There's a lot of challenge with the way we think sometimes. So let's say if you are in training in visual communication, we always think that the only industry we can get in is either the broadcasting, movie industry, maybe the music industry, but that is not true. There's just so much more that is needed in every single field within the bigger industry of just whether it is in architecture, whether it is in different 3D, anything that uses visualization basically is what is going to use the tools and the education that you're providing. If you look at the bottom left corner, that picture is like a LiDAR, but also a drone version of it. So a drone, for example, if there's someone interested in a drone, that does not limit them to a certain thing. I'm going to show you a video that was made here by a visualization team. So this would be an interaction of what the media industry does for another industry. So let me show you that. So not to play the whole video, but you get the idea of just how even animation can be used outside of a movie. Just the need for it is really high within all of these industries. And with AI, a lot of this can be predicted. So, for example, the way the car drives, right? That the animator does not need to spend too much time in designing the flow of traffic. AI already predicts that for you. And also, there's a lot of things within this particular video where there's already existing landscape, there's already existing texture, there's already existing infrastructure there, but AI and visual media shows you what the finished product is going to be. So that's why I just wanted to show this example. And not to harp on this again, but using AI as a resource. So even within our own department, in the technology department, we still need to understand how the software is working. AI does a lot of the predictions. It will generate a lot of things, but as an end user, as someone who is using this technology, you still need to train. You still need to be able to use the human input in order to get a much better output. Any input that is given to the machine or to the software is what AI or any of our artificial intelligent pieces will use for the future. So there is still a lot of human element that needs to be input for the machine to learn. And there are a lot of other things too here that you would be able to use cross industry. If there is a software that you're working on currently, whether that is Maya or any sort of 3D, whether it is SketchUp or Blender, how can you integrate that? All of those things already have a lot of AI parts in that. How are we using that in a different industry? So just wanted to bring that up just because of how we have also been using this in our industry. And the last one is just the training part of it. We do get asked this quite often. How do we implement this technology in our industry, or how can we teach this? There is no one size fit all. If you think about it, anything that came out within the last 1 or 2 years, there's no books written about it. There's no training that you can provide. So the best way, at least with my experience, is to be able to go to the internet. There's already people so willing to teach you what is out there, what are the trends that they're seeing, how are they already implementing this. I put YouTube there just because it's so common, but there are so many other resources out there that you can use in order to see how best what we're teaching or what we're learning in universities are being used in the real world. We also have internship programs with our company where we have a lot of students, whether it's in IT department or communications or even students that are just trying to figure out what they are interested in. So when they come, we try to provide as much of a real world experience to them. So one of the things that I would encourage everyone on this call is to be able to have our students or people within our teams to be able to experience something in the industry. It might not be at a large scale, but there are so many different ways things are being automated, and to be to find that niche of how can I fill this role with the current skills that I have, and also webinars like this where I know this is not something within maybe what you would call your core industry. It's architecture, engineering, construction. It might not be the core, but there is still this niche that it needs to be filled. So just wanting to encourage that. And lastly, I just put there, experiment is put it out there. There might be a need for it. And that is how a lot of things happen, is just if it doesn't work the first time, it does not mean that it cannot be used for a different project in the future. And I think that was the last of my topics. And we really appreciate you taking the time this evening, for you and for us morning. But thank you for your time and your patience in listening to us.